I've been reading the news over the past week or so, and particularly following some of the protests in Israel. I read that on Saturday night, over 270,000 people filled the streets in some of the main cities in Israel, and were protesting various issues. Some of them about the high cost of food, or gas, or education, and housing. And while I don't fully understand all of the issues, I was trying to read up about some of the perspectives of why these protests are taking place and why people are showing up to be a part of it. And there was one particular Rabbi Yuval Cherlow, who is a head of a yeshiva in Petach Tikva. And he spoke about how at first he was a little resistant to the protests, unsure why exactly what was the cause. But then he moved on to say that he actually wanted to join it. He felt that people were not only following their own individual issues, they were not just concerned about themselves, but it was a social justice movement, a movement that was looking to fight for the rights of the underprivileged. That he thought that all of these people are coming together in order to support the weakest members of society. And I think this theme is a part of our Torah reading this week in Parshat Eikev. We read in particular about something that we recite in the Birkat HaMazon, Ve'achalta ve'savata u'be'rachta et Adonai Elohecha al haaretz hatova asher natan lach. That we thank God after we eat. We praise God for the great land that God has given us. And then the Torah moves on to warn us, Pen tochal ve'savata uvatim tovim tivne ve'yashavta. In case all of a sudden we'll go and eat our food and we will build these great houses, but then we won't actually remember who helped us build these houses. We won't remember that we were slaves in Egypt and that we relied on God to bail us out, to help us, to bring us out of Egypt. That when we were vulnerable, God looked after us. So too, we need to look out for those who are vulnerable in our society. I am noticing that in Israel, there are these great social movement changes, trying to make a difference for the problems going on in Israeli society. And I wonder, why is that not happening right now in the United States? Stephen Colbert and Jon Stewart had this protest or the rally bringing thousands of people together, but did we actually try and make social change? How can we bring people together to try and solve the social issues in our lives so that we are not going against this week's parsha, Pen tochal ve'savata, that we are eating and we are so satisfied, but we can't actually identify with those people in our society who are vulnerable. I hope that this week's parasha gives us a chance not only to appreciate the goodness that we have in our lives, but compels us to help those that are most vulnerable in our society. Shabbat Shalom.
צור מי שלא אכלנו, צור מי שלא אכלנו, צור מי שלא